Hello, this is Bitcoin SV Polska, which is the Polish channel for Polish community about Bitcoin SV. So I hope so you're gonna enjoy this show today. We're gonna talk today to River. That was pre-recorded on the 16th of December 2019. So I hope so we're gonna check if everything was said River in the past comes into the place now, which is January, and I hope so you're gonna like it. This is the first part out of 3 parts, so let's see what River has got to say about Bitcoin SV, which is Satoshi Vision. Hi River.
Hi. How are you going?
How are you today? Oh,
I'm good. How are you?
I was looking for that, to be honest, because you comes from Bitcoin SV, let's say so. Could you introduce yourself to our listeners? Who are you? Why are you here? Oh, what you do in crypto space?
Yeah, so I'm River. Hello, everyone. I am an analyst of the crypto markets. I am a big advocate for real money, which as far as cryptocurrency goes, we've just found BSV. So in turn, I've turned into a big BSV advocate. But yeah, that's me at the moment.
Could you remind us, how did you start with crypto? You are here for ages, for 4 years, 10 years, or just literally last year?
No. So I got into crypto. I actually started before crypto. I started learning technical analysis.
Okay, so you start with that, yeah.
Yeah. So I started with Elliott Wave. I was obsessed with being able to predict market trends and people's emotions and stuff like that. So I started learning Elliott Wave, and then I got involved with the crypto space, and so it's been, I started learning when I was pregnant with my first son, and that was 2016 now. So
okay.
But crypto itself really 2017.
Like me.
And yeah. So kind of middle of 2017 is when I got really involved in the space. And back then I was a Bitcoin Cash supporter. Mm-hmm. I really believe in the true vision of Bitcoin, and back then that was what was represented. But yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So my second question is, why Bitcoin SV after such a long story of forks, and we had long story of these things happening. So could you explain to us that side of the coin?
Why Bitcoin?
Why? Oh. That's another question. Yes, I know. I know where you're going to, which way you try to go. But if you, that's fine. If you want to go that way, that's lovely. I try to sit on the fence as always. So
right. Okay.
Could you say why Bitcoin? Yes.
Well, Bitcoin is essentially meant to be, the first thing that really got me interested in what Bitcoin was, and when I started to learn about, because, I think when you first start learning about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, you start to kind of learn a little bit more about how actual money works and how monetary systems work in these days. And so, when we're currently dealing with a lot of very inflationary fiat money, that has really very little control. The Federal Reserve basically controls all of the cash flows for any said country. Looking at cryptocurrency, it's, when I first was interested in Bitcoin, I was really interested in being able to travel and being able to use and spend money overseas, internationally, without the heavy cost of, transferring or swapping over money.
Okay.
And, being simple and very, very simple and cheap to use, and fast, of course, as well. It became really apparent. And, then I started to get to know more about, Bitcoin itself and what the actual values of it were, not just, that international transfer, which is what, when it was so naive, and I thought that was really it, that, it was this amazing money that you could use anywhere in the world. And then you have the data side of it, the immutability part, that, being able to keep everyone accountable for their actions and basically be able to, not have so much crime and all that kind of stuff. So
okay, so that's why. So now, because we have all those folks, and Bitcoin SV is on one side. I've got some questions for you, obviously,
Okay.
From the community.
Yeah.
And can we expect another fork soon?
I don't unless I don't believe so, because in February 2020 the protocol would be locked down. It's never been locked down before. So it will be so it'll be, people can still fork it, but they'll be forking away from the original vision.
Okay, that's brilliant.
When what the work is going into doing now is the work is going into restoring the original Bitcoin vision. So that's a good side. So probably we're going to see quicker Bitcoin Cash fork, because they have two most likely
two things on the side now.
Yeah.
That's the trouble. Okay, could you, because I want to come back to you for a little bit. Could you tell us what you do on YouTube now? Because last time I think you opened the channel. I'm going to show that a little bit later to our listeners as well, and they will be here. But could you just tell us about your YouTube, why YouTube, and why not Twitter only?
Well, I started off with YouTube I think I've maybe been doing YouTube for almost a year, or maybe even a little bit longer, maybe almost a year and a half, or almost 2 years. I don't know. I can't remember now. But basically, it was just analysis for me. It was just me being able to visually share analysis, because it's really, really hard for someone to interpret what you're saying without you explaining it in detail. So I started the videos to be able to get to be clearer. But more recently, I've started to expand the YouTube as well. And I've had, Satoshi and a few other of the big prominent BSV people on there just to chat. We did a video about explaining the white paper with Connor from Bitcoin and Beyond. I do chats with Satoshi. I consider the chats with Satoshi more like therapy sessions, just kind of bouncing ideas off and
I like that, because that's quite a relaxed community, is it? On that chat, and you got your stuff, so that's lovely. And you started that recently, is it? Just
we just Toshi and I, we talk all the time, so we just thought, well, let's get all this on video. People would benefit from the information that we share between each other, so why don't we do an effort to share that information with others as well. Okay,
so how do you feel? That's a separate question. But how do you feel about YouTube policy now? I've heard today that Alessio Rastani, his account was either suspended, or either we don't know yet. So it's too fresh new for us to speculate. What do you think? Is that one of the policies which we should expect to kill the YouTube channels which talks about crypto in the future, or how do you feel?
It's really difficult, because obviously YouTube is very, very good at censoring people, and especially when they're not politically inclined with, YouTube itself's personal views. There are certainly, YouTube obviously it's a centralized company, so they have to follow laws, and they have to follow this like that, and they can interpret the laws in any which way or another. So
because they're a private company.
Exactly. What will be interesting in the future that's not quite available yet. I've been using Streamanity sometimes as a video service as well. It's not as high tech as what YouTube is at the moment, but it enables you to upload content to their site and be monetized, basically. So using BSV itself. Now the video itself isn't actually going on chain just yet, because we're still in that period where the SAT per byte is quite expensive.
That's one of the questions from the community. Why and how you want to get everything onto like a YouTube style? So it works at scale. You've got to understand that Bitcoin is still so small. We're still such a small group of people using it actively, all the time. So as adoption and scale grows, so back in 2020 we're going to have unlimited block sizes. So what that will enable us to do is to basically communicate with miners as companies to lower the price, to give a discount on certain things, enabling higher uploads for a lower cost. We've already seen this happen with Weather SV, for example. So Weather SV have already negotiated their rates for uploading data, and it's just the beginning of that. So as time goes on and mining becomes more competitive, companies will be able to negotiate with miners specific fees to upload, and that's when the competition really starts, because as the blocks become unlimited, there can be so many transactions on the block, and it's a matter of getting all of those in and
it's just about creating competition, really. If one miner lowers their price on certain aspects of it, they can, encourage others to lower their price, which encourages more adoption. It encourages more applications being built, and it will be able to be that microtransaction platform that we've never seen before.
Exactly. What I like about Streamanity is you can have one really good video recorded in live.
Exactly.
And you don't have to go to YouTube and have 1,000 subscribers just to let upload, and monetize.
Yeah, you can start earning money as soon as you upload it.
Exactly.
So if you have an audience already, and which is what I've already seen with a couple of my videos that I've moved over there, is that I already have a good foundation of followers who are interested in the content that I provide. So moving them over to Streamanity, even though I only got on a couple of the videos maybe 1/10 of the views, or sometimes a little bit higher, the viewers who watch the video and who pay for the content are the ones who really, really are interested in it. And also, I haven't earned any money from using YouTube, but I was able to earn money off my content on Streamanity.
Yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So how do you feel in the future if you have YouTube, let's say, and Google, which is based on advertising?
Yes.
Can we have both? Can we have YouTube on the side? Because what I find out is we have poor countries as well, yeah?
Yeah.
If we start introduce 1,000 of a cent is fine. That's fine. But if it's a cent or 5 cents, that's still a lot of money.
It becomes a lot more expensive.
In these countries.
Absolutely.
So how do you want to do first, country by country, different prices, or how they try to introduce this in the future?
I think it all depends on the It depends on the content. First of all, Streamanity would be expensive in Twitch, and all those kind of platforms that are being built using BSV at the moment are expensive because the adoption is very, very low. So as scale and as adoption grows, these prices get dramatically cheaper. And then we're talking about when we have Google, for example, it will be 1,000th of a cent. And I think that they will continue to coexist together. But when people start to realize that the information that they get is not accurate or is, paid for by someone else
to sell your data.
Exactly. They're stealing your data and selling that. So once that, that truth comes out, where the companies that we've used for the past 10 years haven't been truthful and haven't been honest with what they do with our data, then that's where the table starts to turn, and people just automatically will start using, monetized content, even if it's thousandth of a cent to do a Google search, because there will also be several ways, and I mean not just one or two, I mean like several ways that you can use BSV applications to actually earn money as well. So it's going to change up the whole way of the way that we see data today, because when people start to realize that they can make money off their data, when their data is actually worth something, that's when the table turns. And it's not going to matter if you're paying 1,000th of a cent for a Google search, because you're actually earning money off your data as well.
So my next question, which is related to that one, because we hear about all those changes, and if we go to the communities or communities in crypto space, why others don't accept that kind of the technology? You know what I mean? If that getting us into the new space. Yeah,
there's a big see, the thing is that, like you see even on the mainstream news, people like to believe what's right in front of their face, and a lot of people don't take the time or the effort to really search for the truth, which is why I love what I do so much, and what you do as well, because you really do a really good job of eliminating and searching for that truth, and I really respect you for that.
Thank you.
But what you've still got to imagine too that the crypto space is really, really small. And everything that gets portrayed on the news is negative towards the crypto world. There's scams, there's this, there's, obviously the price itself speaks, the price of BTC going from 20,000 down to 3,000 spoke for itself, as bad press. And, people are afraid to get involved or even know anything about it because of that factor. So what we have spread on the mainstream media, and even in the direct crypto space itself, is a whole lot of regurgitated fake content. It's that same thing. It's that same thing. We don't have the actual truth, which is what Bitcoin is aiming to solve that issue of. And it's just a in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's just a great big, you know, social experiment just to show exactly how much people are able to be brainwashed. You know, when people can't trust their own minds or trust their own, you know, they just, one person says it's Bitcoin SV is a scam. And so, you know, the rest of it is, and then all the exchanges follow each other and delist it. And it destroys the base opinion of it. And, you know, and it's just that, and people just need to be able to rise above that and actually be able to accept that some information is not true, and that these characters, these cartoon characters that are sitting there promoting all of these absolute scams, including exchanges and crypto assets, you know, you got to kind of look at and think.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
What is the point of it if nothing works? Because a lot of the things is like, you know, people are maximalist of one altcoin or another, or even BTC itself. And so, you know, they all have certain functions, I guess, or alleged functions that they work and they're meant to be doing. But the fact of the matter is that Bitcoin was meant to be doing everything. And the only reason why any of these altcoins exist today is because BTC was hijacked and was unable to fulfill the original Bitcoin vision.
Yeah, what people think is that if we come to BTC, they say, oh, they've got the longest chain, and that's my coin.
Yeah.
I'm going to hodl, or like Craig say, hoodle.
Yeah.
So could you elaborate on that? Do you think that because they know for ages that BTC for them is Bitcoin, that's why they behave that way, and then they want to seek the other side of the coin?
Yeah, I mean, longest chain is also debatable because, you know, the protocol was changed with BTC several times. So it's debatable whether the chain is actually the longest, because what, you know, SegWit aims to do is take it off chain, you know, create signatures off chain. So it's really debatable whether or not BTC is truly the longest chain. Mm-hmm. My opinion is that, you know, it continued on into BCH and it continued on into BSV, and that protocol is still the same. It hasn't changed. It was just a way to get away from the people who hijacked the chains themselves. Mm-hmm. So if you want to talk about hash a little bit, you know, as hash goes, hash is competitive as well. So, you know, miners, they'll mine the chain that brings the most money. And at the moment, that's true for BTC most of the time. Sometimes, of course, it flicks on and off. And as soon as you see, you know, BSV with 1.5 or 2%, you can see that it's slowly it's more profitable than BTC to mine.
Yeah.
But
I think as well, if we compare white paper and what Bitcoin SV will try to do on the 4th of Feb, I think, 2020, when Genesis goes in place.
Yep.
So this is closer to original version of Satoshi.
It is the original version.
Some people say it's not everything because there you have some upgrades. Could you elaborate on that as well? Like
what do you mean by upgrades, though?
What they think? I've saw some of the videos that they're saying. We're going back to the original version, but we might have some changes on the way. But I haven't seen so many changes, to be honest. But
I haven't seen so many changes either. I don't really know what that's referring to. Potentially that the white paper has been misinterpreted for its entire existence.
I know.
The fact is that, you know, BSV is a lot of new information comes out because what I believe that happens is, and this is just my belief, not true nor false nor, you know, anything. I believe that sometimes it might seem like new information when Craig releases explanations on things that were in the white paper. So with his Medium blog, you know, he'll go into one specific subject of, you know, for example, SPV that was in the white paper, but people didn't quite understand it, you know, how it was meant to work, or how, you know, essentially what it was meant to be.
Economics.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, when he goes into a little bit more detail and releases information that people go, wow, like it didn't, maybe that's the new information that they're talking about. But as far as upgrade goes, I believe it's just being set back in stone and you know, ready to be built upon. And I can't think of any upgrades that they're doing to the actual protocol itself, just applications themselves that have been building on top of it.